Well, everybody, we're back. Beyond Us, episode 32.
Woo woo.
How's everybody feeling today?
I'm alright. I just got home, like right before we started recording. It's been a busy day.
Just running around doing errands?
So it's Friday, so I went for my big walk. Because I do a big walk every Friday. I do little ones here and there, but my big ones every Friday. Got back, relaxed for like an hour, and then left again. Went to go see a movie, and then went to get dinner, and then just got back like right as we were getting started.
So before I ask what movie, I just want to make a caveat. Like, this man actually has a physical ailment. Like, there's a reason. Just before someone starts going into the comments saying a big walk.
Yeah.
What? Walks are healthy, actually.
Yeah.
No, they're important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anybody would talk shit about the fact that I have like a one big walk a week.
Actually, in walking, honestly, if you do it right, it'll burn some calories. It'll actually make you tired.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to go to bed.
No, people definitely underestimate walking.
It's honestly better for you
There's
than
some
running
people
because it doesn't have long-term damage to your knees and shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
In fact, I think we've even found out in the past that Daniel's walking is faster than my jogging. So,
oh yeah, we did find that out because like you go to take the turn and then you jog in place.
something like that. It's bizarre.
I don't do that.
No, but
It's all the
what,
fake runners.
What movie did you watch?
So today I saw two movies this week. Today I saw the new Super
Okay.
Mario movie.
I've heard great things.
Me too. I heard people like it.
No complaints. It was a solid movie. It had a plethora of Easter eggs from ranging from Mario Easter eggs all the way to just obscure Nintendo Easter eggs.
Was it Ryan Reynolds? Mario?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. How was his voice as Mario? That's weird.
Fine. It wouldn't have been my first choice, but it's not a problem. But other people within the movie, Seth Rogen being Donkey Kong, Jack Black being Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key is Toad. It's good.
Yeah.
Could they have done some things that I might have enjoyed a little bit more? Probably. Wouldn't have minded. It was honest. It was short, and I don't normally say that about movies. But it almost felt like it was not enough because it was only an hour and 27 minutes.
That's really short.
Wait. Well, when you think about like in comparison to movies now, that's
Right.
really
Yeah.
short. Like a movie, 20 years ago?
That's
was like
right on par.
that's a regular
Like 60
length
minutes?
movie.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's just the problem.
Avatar
though, is
was
that
like-
we're so used to movies being bare minimum 2 hours now.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun. I like how they did things. If you watch it, it's cool to check out some of the Easter eggs. Some of them are a little more hidden than others. Some of them are real blatant. Like some of them basically say, like, look at me, I'm an Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
And other ones are kind of
That's fair.
hiding off in the side text and just waiting for you to notice them. Things like, Mario's original game name before he was called Mario.
Right.
Which
They're
was
gonna
what?
be the
Jumpman.
They're gonna be the link that you click when you're scrolling through Facebook, and it's like, 15 Easter eggs you missed when you saw this movie.
Right.
And
yeah. Like
Mm.
something subtle. Like there was somebody playing an arcade game called Jumpman, which was what his name was before he was Mario. But then, like, real up in your face is like there's the Ocarina of Time. Like real blatant shit from Nintendo.
unless you don't know what that is.
If you don't know what that is, then you need to educate yourself.
The who?
Salo?
Salo, you know what the Ocarina
The
of Time
Trident
is,
of
right?
what? The Arkham of Time?
The Ocarina.
No. Don't start typing. Nope, this is not a typing moment. Take your hands away from the keyboard, sir.
You know what the Ocarina of Time is, right?
Of course, the Ocarina of Time, the book. The book, because of the gross Ocarina of the supernatural realm of Arcadia. Of course. Of course. I know. I'm cool, guys.
Hey,
we're cool.
Hey, Salo, quick question. Nope. Take your hand away from your mouse and keyboard. All right, quick question. In the franchise Zelda, right? You've heard of Zelda?
The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda? Okay.
Zelda's the woman.
Okay, cool.
What's the name of the character you play as?
Link.
All right. Okay.
I'm not completely illiterate.
Okay.
Video game wise.
Anywho.
Moving on.
But yeah, so today I saw Super Mario. Earlier this week I saw John Wick 4.
Yeah, I meant to go watch that and never found time to.
It's fine.
I finally saw Avatar, the second one. The 3 hours and something. It was so long.
Don't care.
It was aight. It was like a 5. I was lukewarm.
Didn't love the first
one.
They
just did the same. They did the same thing.
I thought
except for like sea people.
From what I've heard, and this is more so in the like graphic design, video editing community, stuff like that. The most impressive thing that came out of that movie was their effects of water,
right?
And how like the water was simulated, but you damn near could not tell. It looked just like regular water.
But at what point does that become, meh? They could just do that with water, you know? It's impressive.
I mean, it becomes big because all their characters are CGI. So they're making, I mean, you know, like they make like the CGI characters. It has to interact with CGI water.
A lot easier.
Well, that's the only way you're going to make it work. You're not going to be able to make it work with regular, like normal water. It's not going to flow as correctly. You'll see.
Depends on how they do it.
Generally, you can see like the clashes. You can mask it with a lot of things.
As long as you have a real actor doing everything that the CGI is doing as like a stand-in, and then the CGI just changes how they look, should be fine. Once you go into cases where you're changing their size or their structure, is where you get... If you turn Mark Ruffalo into the Hulk, the environment around him needs to react differently. But if you just turn me into a blue person, the environment around me is still going to react the same.
It'll act the same as to a person, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if, to me, like if me sliding through the snow or whatever looks like this, and all your CGI effect is changing me to a taller blue person, it's all going to look the same. But if you're turning me into the Hulk, it's going to drastically change what would happen to the snow.
When you start in very similar body types, you are very correct about that. With the height, I've been told that it can create a difference just with the way the skeleton moves.
If your skeleton moves differently, sure.
Yeah.
Like, but for all intents and purposes, when it comes to the Avatar movies, the Na'vi are just stretched out versions of us with blue skin and a tail.
And skinny.
And
mostly.
Super skinny, yeah. But, like, theoretically, if you have water effects, if you have me sliding, like, let's say I'm fucking, you know, running on water somehow. I don't know what they do in this movie, but let's just say I'm running on water, and you've got the puddle splashing up next to my, you know, it splashes up to my fucking calf.
They're diving too, so you can see the water.
When you change the image, it just has to make it up to the bigger calf. That's the difference. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair.
So, like, I don't know. Here's the thing.
There is a lot that goes into making
absolutely.
Like even something like that look real. That like the water lasting on like the digital skin,
right?
So that like you as the viewer aren't looking at that like,
and that's where it really kicks in.
Yeah.
And Avatar 1 was ahead of its time for its effects. It was. The problem is Avatar 2, for everything I've heard, didn't improve on those effects, and it's no longer ahead of its time.
I do love how much we have talked about Avatar on this podcast.
None of us have seen it.
And only one person.
Now one of us has seen
one.
Avatar 2. It's crazy how often this
Finally
has come
one.
up.
Well, the thing is we can kind of talk about it more because we're not scared of spoilers for it. Like, we don't want to talk too much about Super Mario or John Wick because they just fucking came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will
Way
say
of Water's been out for like a couple months now, since December, I think.
Speaking of something new,
I was just about to say, literally, my transition was going to be, so John Wick 4, it was good. Not the best John Wick in the series, in my opinion. Definitely not as good as this new show on Netflix called The Night Agent.
Joe, it's so good.
I've been watching that. It's great.
Dude, it's fucking
great.
fire.
Dude, it's so good.
Listen, everybody that is
really
listening
good.
to us right now, whenever this comes out, at whatever time it does, this show will still be on Netflix. If you have not watched it yet,
go watch it.
Go watch it. Now, it's 10 episodes, and every episode feels like it might be its own little mini movie. You're probably not going to be able to binge all this in one session. Your brain will hurt. There is a lot going on in this show. But it is not white knuckle the whole time. It's not like it's nonstop action. You don't get a breather. There is plenty of lulls for you to kind of digest and react to what's going on. There's plenty of character growth, plenty of... Don't do what Brett and I did. Don't try and figure it all out. Because you're just going to frustrate yourself.
See, I was almost going to recommend the opposite. I was going to recommend.
Yourself.
So
if you're not,
I don't know. There was something fun about like, okay, you get 30 minutes into this episode.
Don't do it by yourself.
Yeah. If you're watching it with someone else,
have fun.
You get like 30 minutes into an episode, you pause and you're like, all right, let's figure out what information we just got. How does this all fit? How does all this make sense? Odds are you'll just get more questions than answers.
So that's the other thing I was going to say. Do not get upset if you come out of an episode with more questions than answers. It's doing it on purpose.
That's every episode.
You will get.
It's every
you'll
episode.
Start to get answers though.
Eventually.
Now I will say this. One of the major questions we had, again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but one of the major questions we had was something that was going to get revealed in like episode 8, I think, maybe. And we did not, for episodes, 4 episodes, we're sitting there pausing every 20 minutes. Maybe it's this person. Maybe it was this person. Who the fuck else could it be? Why would it be anyone else?
It has to be this person.
The episode before, it clicked in my head who it was, and I said it to Brett, and Brett was like, oh my fucking god, it was staring us in the face the whole fucking time. The whole fucking time. They were practically telling us the answer to this question. They were begging us.
But you're like, no, it couldn't be. It couldn't be.
Then it told us.
And then it told us that next episode. It was like almost the minute that we're allowed to let it click in our head, it's like, all right, we've held it all. You fucking figured it out. Such a great show.
And the actors are really good in it too. All the actors are really good in it.
Yeah, all the actors are really good, and almost every moment has been acted out really well.
So
one bitch can't read.
We were.
You
gotta watch
this
it.
This is not a spoiler.
You gotta watch it.
It's not a spoiler.
I'm explaining exactly what happened. All right. I'm not gonna say who in this, but a female, right? She looked at a guy, and she was told by him that he was in the FBI. All right. Then she sees his badge.
His employee ID badge.
His employee ID. It says White House, Federal Bureau of Investigation. And she looks at it and she's like, I thought you said you were with the FBI. Because
it says White House.
Because it said White House.
But I paused it because Brett and I were watching together. I paused it. And I'm like, I'm 95% sure that badge said Federal Bureau of Investigation. And Brett went, wait, what? I'm like, she just got upset that he's working at the White House, not in the FBI. I am 95% sure that badge said Federal Bureau of Investigation. He said, all right, run it back.
Did it?
So we rewound. There are 6 words, 8 if you count his name. If you count his name, there are 8 words on this badge. First name, last name, White House, Federal Bureau
FBI.
of Investigation. Those are the only words on the badge. Now, we chalked it up to stress.
It hurt, and like
It was so funny.
yeah, we did chalk it up to stress because I think that character was actually very smart.
Yeah.
But
She was going through shit
it
right
was-
then and there.
it was just like
It was like, come on, man.
like for the viewer, it's one thing because you're not supposed to be focused on the badge. So much other shit is happening.
But for us, we can't help ourselves. We notice those little details.
That was so
We're the
dumb.
kind of people who will notice
Um,
if you shoot a gun 6 times and there's only 5 bullet holes.
We
are
go
those
counting each and every one.
Like, we're not trying to notice them, but we are the people that will notice that shit.
and I mean, there's some things that come with like, and this could go for anybody, but come with like experience. Where if you are familiar with a subject, and something just
Doesn't
that
click.
that wasn't done right. That wasn't done how it was supposed to be done. Unfortunately, I'm gonna notice something like that.
Yeah.
Like, but how far are you, Salo?
I'm on the last episode.
You're ahead of us.
Father.
We have 2 left.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
Oh, we know.
It gets crazy.
Hey, if you wait,
We can
the
watch.
three of us
this
could
one
watch
together.
that. We could watch that last episode
Okay.
together. Yeah.
I'll wait. Let me know.
All right, we'll figure
You
it out.
Do
can't
it.
say yes and shake your head no. You can't do you just lied to me. Like characteristically lied. In your head you're just like there's no fucking way I'm waiting. I only stopped because I had to do this damn podcast.
No, I'll wait. You hit me up. We'll watch it together. All 3 of us.
All right, but
We'll do a react.
Shit. No, very good. Highly recommend you watch it.
It just popped up on my feed randomly. I didn't know if it was new
so that's
or I was
the
watching
funny-
I
24,
thought
so
it-
it recommended.
So
I
that's
thought I sent
Yeah.
a message to you
That's
to
the
watch
funniest part of what happened is Brett and I were looking for something new to watch. And
it.
it popped up on my home screen. And he said, and I said, what is this? And he said, oh, it doesn't look good. And then the you know how like on Netflix, it's got like the trailer that automatically starts playing for you? That started playing and he said, wait, this is not what they showed me. So I clicked on it
Yeah.
and we read the description and watched half of this sort of trailer. And he's like, this is not what was advertised to me.
Yo, like
The trailer was weird.
So
The trailer,
what? Go ahead.
the YouTube trailer. You watch the trailer in Netflix.
Never.
No, so I pulled my phone up. I was about to get on the cycling bike, right? And I was just gonna pull up some Netflix, just watch some Netflix while I was doing that. And I saw the show pop up, and I let the trailer play. I read the description, and nothing about it looked interesting. Like the description, it did have to do with an FBI agent, but it just sounded more like he was dealing. I don't know what. I can't even remember what it said, but everything about it sounded boring. And so I'm just like, no, I'm not watching this.
You're not
no
humoring
interest.
it.
And like he said, when he pulled it up, I was just like, yo, this sounds good as fuck. What is this? Isn't what I saw.
Sometimes Netflix doesn't know how to advertise its own shit.
I almost wonder if it's because I'm in a different country.
Yeah,
and maybe I got a
could be
different
it.
description because of that. I don't know if that's the case,
So
but it's possible.
something you said when we were talking about that, Brett, was if you have interests or training or something in a specific thing, and then you see something or you hear something, you can kind of pick up on if something's off. Something was told to me today, and my brain instantly went, that doesn't make any sense. I would like to share that information with you now, good sir, as we both had similar trainings in our jobs.
Just me, or
We're going to share with the
can
group, but this
Salo-
is specifically for you to say, that doesn't sound right. Or, oh, okay. Ready?
Is it weather related?
Salo, if you think it doesn't sound right, I want you to say something.
I want you to as well. Ready?
So my teacher always taught me. See something, say something.
Apparently,
Dare.
Tornado Alley is shifting to the East Coast.
No!
That's not...
That's not how that works.
Oh, never mind. Oh, averted.
Look,
explain.
I don't come onto this podcast to explain thermal dynamics and pressure systems. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to explain that.
What are important for a tornado to form?
Brett?
Well, so a tornado, I mean, it's going to be less about less to do with moisture, more to do with mainly wind speeds. But you're going to need no obstructions.
Air?
Yes, you do need air, Salo. Good job. So
we're simplifying it here.
The way I explained it in simplest terms
the thing is,
was you need weather phenomena, and you need, for the most part, obviously tornadoes can form in different locations, but for prime forming locations, you need compatible, favorable topographical locations. You need a good environment for it to build.
Yeah, so
a good location.
That's why I was trying to carefully word what I was saying, is because a tornado can form theoretically anywhere.
Right.
You could have a series of tornadoes happen on the East Coast.
Absolutely.
But in terms of where the conditions would be most favorable, it's called Tornado Alley for a reason, because
their environment is favorable.
Yeah, it's on the leeward side of mountains.
Right.
It's very flat land,
right,
for the most part. And so you don't have any of these obstructions. I mean, yeah, you have winds coming off the leeward side of the mountain. Another part of it is a
lot of that area is above sea level, which helps. Again, not mandatory, but helps.
It's a good area for jet interaction.
It's just the most favorable location. And I said, when I was told this, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, what information did they give you that said this is happening? And they said, well, within the next 10 years, Tornado Alley is going to be on the East Coast because of climate change. And I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Climate change changes
climate change can cause more tornadoes. Sure.
It can.
It doesn't change where tornadoes are most prime.
What you would need is for
someone to bulldoze the East Coast.
Geographically change it, right?
You would need someone to bulldoze the East Coast and then build a mountain on the coastline. That's what you would need.
So, well, you have the mountains. I'm not going to say you don't have the mountains.
Not on the right side.
Okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Yeah. The Appalachian Mountains?
Yeah. We have the Appalachian Mountains.
No, we do have the Appalachian Mountains, but they kind of just go through the coast.
Tomato,
if anything, the East Coast is in the mountains.
Yeah, okay, I suppose that's true.
You don't.
It wouldn't be the entire East Coast. Honestly, you'd have a better chance of it being the southeast coast if you were trying to try to determine an area that would be the most suitable for tornadoes.
I mean, I guess if we're talking most suitable, probably the Georgia to North Carolina area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
it would be that line.
Even though flatland-wise, that far northeast area, that's too far out of the jet.
Yeah.
And Florida's too far south. So, I mean, theoretically, the Georgia to North Carolina area would become the most susceptible. But it's still not... It's not the most conducive. But yeah.
Yeah, you would need a dynamic shift in so many different weather parameters that it changes topography.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Exactly.
And
that's not just climate change.
And it's not going to happen instantly, too, I'm assuming.
Well,
it's
no.
not just going to be...
I mean, they said it would take 10 years. But 10 years is not enough time for the
That's too short, yeah.
The world to erode and grow land masses in the places it would need to create a new tornado.
It's enough time to historically be like, yo, we've seen way more tornadoes than we've ever seen previously. Sure. And if that's where they're going with it...
Right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If they are saying in 10 years, due to climate change, the East Coast will suffer from more tornadoes than ever before. Okay. But to say it's going to become the new Tornado Alley, if anything, climate change is also going to severely affect Tornado Alley as well. Mm-hmm. Tornado Alley is going to become Tornado Street. Like,
yeah, I was really just like hoping Salo was randomly just going to come in with way more weather knowledge than either or you me have.
He was going to fuck
just out of nowhere, just out of pocket. This dude is just always on the weather channel.
He's been studying that shit so he can keep up with us.
Honestly, not too bad. Not too far off. One day I will.
Don't waste your time.
I'll show you my knowledge.
They don't know what they're talking about half the time, dog. Because as far as I understand, that's where this information came from. But anywho, we've got a question from a couple episodes ago that we haven't gotten to answer yet.
Yeah, sure. We can.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the whole comment out.
Woo!
Because it's kind of like a part of the episode. So this is from episode 29. Amber commented, she briefly talked about how we were having a conversation about Cycling Bridge, but then she moves on to say this. Also, when it comes to aliens, I don't think that the question should be, do they exist? But rather, have they visited Earth? I highly doubt that in all of the galaxies and out of all the planets out there, that we are the only life with thinking capabilities. That kind of thinking to me is so dumb. So with that, I will ask, what would a super cool alien look like to you? What environment would they live in? And then she asked if we could draw a picture of said alien, and that it doesn't have to be professional or anything. So if you guys want to describe an alien and then draw it for next time, Salo. For next time.
Okay.
Salo's like, no, I got this
like,
right now.
I was like, I can draw a stick figure monster alien looking thing. Then, I can do it.
And then the final part of her comment was, in all capitals, oh my god, Turtle Tower, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Since which I have talked to Amber during my streams and stuff like that, and she is all in on us making a Turtle Tower t-shirt.
Yes.
And said she would gladly buy a Turtle Tower t-shirt.
Me too.
I know you would. So that is Amber's question. So, in summary, what would a super cool alien look like to you, and what environment would they live in? It's tough. Because, like, I'm going to be honest with you, any kind of alien would kind of freak me out a little bit. Anything that looks like it might be dangerous, I don't think it looks cool. I'm scared. Like, I'd much rather aliens be cute than cool.
So I was reading a book, series, Expeditionary Forces by Craig Allinson, and it was about aliens in space. and like all the aliens that he described in his world were based off of like distinct features of animals, not necessarily human, but there was always like a feline type race that evolved and a bird type race that evolved. Okay. So in my head, obviously it's not going to be the same thing,
right?
But I'm thinking like something along the lines of something from a planet evolving to the point of where we were, you know? It's like, be interesting to see like the birds getting to this point and how they evolved and what that interpretation of evolution would look like in a different place, you know? That's my thinking.
Actually kind of thinking of something similar. Because even though like it's very naive to think that we're the only life in the universe.
Right.
The way humans have evolved was in fact very specialized. Like a lot of
that we know of.
Yeah, as far as we know, ridiculous amount of parameters took place to create what we are now.
Right. But there's no reason those parameters couldn't have existed elsewhere.
No, they could. I am more partial to think, though, that other just other evolutions would have taken control of different planets.
Yeah.
Instead of like the primates of that, or that close related to primates looking at us.
I'm thinking of creatures that can make maximum use of the planet, both the air, sea, and ground. So I'm thinking of a creature that can fly, transversing the whatever this world is very easy. It can burrow into the ground, making shelter very commonplace. And it can swim very effectively, making hunting all forms of creatures that are also on this planet.
Yeah, like a true apex predator.
Of great ease. Yeah.
So you're describing to me like the apex predator version of whatever it is of that planet.
So I almost had
instead of things being specialized to different species, one species was like, I'm going to be the best at everything.
So I almost had
land, sea, and air superiority.
Not quite to that extent, but I had a similar thought to what you guys were thinking of like something else evolving similar to how we did. And so like to me, what I think would just look cool, I don't know how it would get there, but it would look almost human, but with like subtle but noticeable differences. Mm-hmm. Something like something that if you weren't paying attention, you would just think it's a birth defect. Like
spooky.
Like their eyes, instead of blinking like we do, they blink sideways, like a reptile. Or
spooky.
Like things like just
you'd be going down Uncanny Valley.
Like major webbing on all of them, like in between the fingers and toes for that perfect swimmer. Like, in my eyes, like, what would be a cool alien would be one that almost looks human. But it's just
like a tall,
there.
skinny, blue-looking alien.
Yeah, something maybe with a tail or hair that can attach to other things and they can, you know...
Is biologically connected to the planet, dude?
Stupid ass We're not getting back to Avatar.
No, so... not so much with the hair thing, but in terms of like a tail, wings, these things that, let's say theoretically, we are way past species might have evolved from these, and you know, like there's evidence that we had a tail, we have a tailbone, right? But instead of getting rid of things, it found a way to make those things useful.
Right.
So, like, instead of getting rid of the tail, it made it to where
it was strong.
Like you evolved, and your tail was very strong and could do things similar to what your arms can do. And,
right. I don't know. I just think it would be cool. Yeah, but like in my brain, what would a cool alien look like? It would almost look like I don't know. It would kind of like be like Ditto. Where it's like, it looks like us, but just not perfectly.
You scare me. I feel like that's an Uncanny Valley type shit. Like, I'm like, fuck. The eyes blinking.
When you said it looks like Ditto, I ignored everything else you said. I'm like, he's thinking that these aliens are just little pink blobs.
Little black eyes.
I'd be down for that. Honestly, some of them could be shiny and therefore blue. I could be down for that.
I want a planet full of squonks.
I want a planet full of Pokemon. Oh my god! A planet where Pokemon are real. Sounds amazing.
So
it sounds like it would go very bad.
We don't go to that planet, Brett.
I'm just saying.
But we could watch.
We just observe.
Planet.
We just watch from the ship.
Humans could not either humans would destroy that planet and its creatures, or humans would be destroyed by that planet and those creatures. Just it wouldn't work. Pokemon is not as feasible as
they make it seem.
Yeah, they make it seem like it's all like it's this fun thing. Yeah, we're gonna go send our 8-year-old out to go catch Pokemon.
10.
And you're okay. 10. We'll send a 10-year-old out to go catch Pokemon.
Perpetually 10.
Forever.
Yep.
Never changing.
I mean, now
we're always
he's 11,
we're
he's not
not
on the show anymore.
He aged out of the show gracefully.
Aged out of fucking
he was a
Pokemon.
tad too old for his audience base. It was too much. They couldn't relate.
Could you imagine he turns 11 and then the world turns normal and it's like the kids next door?
That or like
Where, like,
Fairly
it was
Odd
all-
Parents.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, like they're all gone and you could only see them.
I would cry.
Like all the professors
it's like
that you would see.
It's like Tricks. Tricks are for kids.
Tricks are for kids.
Because I don't know about y'all, but I remember Tricks having shapes.
They did.
I
They
do
did
too.
bring those back for a bit. I don't know if you
I
saw
did
that.
not.
They brought them back.
All I know is as a
Yeah.
kid they had shapes, and now they're just ordinary little fucking colorful balls. And I feel like as a
Yeah.
child,
It's weird.
I had an
It's super
imagination,
weird.
and as an adult, I'm basic.
It became so much of a meme that they actually brought them back.
Okay.
I don't know if they're still back, but they did bring them back.
Speaking of other planets, though, did you hear about a new planet being discovered?
I've heard about several new planets being discovered.
Wait. Before we get into that, can I just... I didn't bring a fact about weather, but I do have a joke about weather. And I'm not even joking. I had a whole list. So here's my first joke before we get into the planets.
Please don't.
Oh, no.
Why don't clouds fight? Because they always cumulonimbust. Woo! That was a knee slapper. Okay.
Isn't even good. Like it
So new planet? Where?
I thought he had more than one
down,
joke.
down the street.
We're gonna sprinkle them throughout the episode. I can't give you all my jokes at once.
All right.
That's not how this works.
Okay.
You can't just get it all out. This ain't McDonald's.
All right.
Ain't no Happy Meal.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm done.
Researchers discovered a new planet that has 2 moons. They discovered it via the James Webb Telescope. It is about 40 million light years away. Here's the interesting things, though. It has clear indications of water, methane, and carbon monoxide. And it orbits 2 stars.
2 stars.
Yep.
Yeah. So the
2
2
suns,
stars
basically.
is weird. Yeah. So the thing with those, like what they detected, it's evidence of potential life.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, that's why those things are important.
They're because carbon is just necessary, but they're byproducts of what life produces.
Right. But the fact that it orbits 2 stars is what I thought was trippy.
What's its cycle even look like, or like what's its like orbit?
So that's
with
what
2
I'm wondering.
stars?
I'm wondering if it's like stuck in between 2 orbits. So like it'll
Like a figure eight
boop
kind of
and then
thing,
boop.
or
yeah. Or
Yeah.
if there's two stars in the middle close to each other, and it just kind of orbits both of them.
I would be very uncomfortable with that.
I'd be
one.
scared.
Very
Honestly, either way, I'd be
scared.
scared.
One of the stars would have to orbit the other one, right? If they were that close. Theoretically, right?
Maybe.
Or whose gravitational field would...
Unless their gravitational
pull in the other
fields
star.
are exactly identical. Could be one star that just split in two.
One's a fabricated star.
Or
just for more
maybe
energy.
they do. Maybe they're
An
maybe they're
alien
like a
spaceship
fidget spinner,
star.
where they're on an axis and they're just constantly rotating around it right next to each other, kind of like when you have two
Right.
balls that are magnets and you put them next to each other and they just spin.
Oh, and they just constantly spin around each other.
And then everything
Interesting.
else
Yeah.
orbits around their massive gravitational pull.
Rotation.
Could be
yeah.
something like that, maybe.
Maybe.
That's almost more terrifying, because that means as soon as one of them goes out, the other star's going hurling
Hurling towards us.
towards something. Not towards us. We're 40 million light years away. It's not making it here.
It's
But
not
it's
going to make
killing-
it. Not in our lifetime anyways.
If anyone on any of those planets is alive, it's killing all of them.
That sucks. Mass extinction before our eyes.
As soon as one of those stars starts to have less gravitational pull, all hell is breaking loose.
Did you guys also hear they're sending people to the moon?
That's been happening for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they actually they took a picture with the astronauts and they made it official, even though they've always made it kind of official in every announcement, but
Are you talking NASA-wise or...
NASA is saying that they're going to go to the moon and they've selected their crew already. Like, they've selected the people who are going to go. But they've always been saying that, but now they're actually selecting people. I don't think they're going to land, but they're going to rotate around.
For the Space Force to get...
Really into
We still have that, don't we?
yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, I don't think it's going to be them.
It's a real thing.
That's hilarious.
I've
Anyways.
met people in the Space Force.
What did the raindrop say when it was ready to fall? What are we waiting for?
And anyway.
All right.
Anyway. I'm going to go back to the topic I was going to segue from before you decided to do that horrible fucking thing.
Go ahead.
Because it's water.
So this is something I didn't know.
Okay.
The center of our Earth, guys. What were you always told it was made of?
Like molten core? Like molten just...
Molten
some
lava.
core.
magma. Yeah.
Like magma, lava. Apparently that's not the case.
Okay.
Apparently it is I just had the actual reloaded the page. It's a solid core.
Really?
Okay.
Apparently our core is solid. So our core has two parts. The outer portion is what we're kind of familiar with, the liquid magma
Lava-y thing, yeah.
Yeah, the inner portion is a solid core of iron and nickel. They have found out, I imagine, relatively recently. I'll caveat this. The findings for a lot of this stuff is controversial.
Right.
Probably because it goes against a shit ton of things that we've been
Normal
familiar
science
with
theory
for years. But there's something else that they've quote unquote found. Based on seismic wave data from over the past 60 years that they've been researching in China, they concluded that the Earth's core so the Earth's core rotates like that. The metal sphere rotates, and normally it rotates, as far as anyone was aware, rotates with the Earth. In 2009 it stopped rotating.
Aliens.
and then started rotating the opposite direction. Now that, as far as I can tell, is actually the less controversial portion of this.
Okay.
The more controversial portion is the debate on how often this actually happens. Some believe it is a cycle where it goes in one direction, stops, and flips to the other direction every like 70 years. Other scientists theorize that it's like every 6 years. But yeah, this is a relatively new things that have been discovered about the Earth's core.
I wonder if it's an actual, like, a sphere, you know? Like, if it's, like, at the center, like, if you dig all the way down, you'll actually just hit a sphere.
I mean, I imagine it's a sphere on a macro scale look.
Right.
It's probably not an actual sphere, but it's a sphere in reference to if you were trying to view this from the moon.
That's fair.
Like if
fair.
you took a cross section of the Earth, it's spherical in reference to that.
Because in layman's terms, like the moon,
Earth is not spherical.
Not even a sphere.
Yeah.
Because of just surface deviations.
Like there's more.
It's an oval.
like there's more crevices and divots. Like in comparison, if you were to shrink like the Earth down to like, let's say, a golf ball, it would be that like rough.
Right.
But no, I thought that was interesting and something I definitely didn't know.
No, me neither. I actually just looked it up to see just so I could visualize what you're talking about, and I'm seeing everything you're saying. It also says that the temperature of the inner core is estimated to be approximately 5,700 Kelvin, which is estimated to be the same temperature as the surface of the sun.
Pretty fucking hot, aka.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So that's crazy.
Could you imagine if like planets, and this is something like we just haven't figured out yet, but planets were actually microstars
and that's
with
what
a
the core
gravitational pull, and the core
And the
is
heat,
a
and
star
the core is
and
the
just
sun.
pulls it all in, and it just created a planet, and then it orbits around massive stars.
That'd be crazy.
Interesting.
I had one on my list of conspiracy theories. One of the ones I had, just because it's relevant, was like the hollow moon theory, where people think that it's not a natural like satellite of the Earth. It's like a artificial thing made by extraterrestrial beings. I've never heard of that one before.
I've seen a couple things like that.
So the generalized like as thesis per se on how the moon was created was an asteroid hit the Earth and a chunk split off to create the moon, right? Like that's
what I knew.
That's
the
the
most
main
common one, yeah.
most common one, yeah.
So
Well,
I don't know.
While we're on the topic of science and theories and things along those lines, saw an interesting little tidbit about something. So I know Brett does, but Salo, do you know what a chimera is?
It's an animal that's part of two different animals put together. Something like that, or a being, a creature.
It's a chimera. Traditionally, is a lion and a goat with a snake as a tail.
Traditionally, gotcha. Okay.
That's the most common story of what a chimera is.
Right.
And it was basically
it's like what, Greek?
Yes, Greek mythology. Yes, and it could breathe fire, but it had the snake, a snake as a tail, and then usually the story is it had two heads, a lion head and a goat head.
Yeah. Scientifically speaking, it's a creature made from multiple animal parts, right? Like,
yeah.
Well, there's a massive story in Greek mythology about a major battle against a chimera. Mm-hmm. That location is now what is known as modern day Turkey. Okay? There is a place in Turkey, which is unofficially, I believe, maybe officially, but referred to as Mount Chimera. Here's where things get interesting. There are rocks there that have been burning for centuries. There are parts of the surface that have been on fire, small fires, for centuries. Because there are gas pockets underneath that are constantly feeding the fire, which scientifically makes sense. The problem is, why are these fires not getting put out by rain? It has to have rained at least a couple times in the last couple centuries.
At least once, you know? April showers.
There is scientific evidence to suggest that only 3 life forms have ever lived in this area. Lions.
Goats and snakes.
Really? That's interesting.
It's kind of fucking freaky. Alone, the animals that have lived there is freaky on its own right. The fact that there are fires that, like, you can go, and you can get relatively close because they're not big fires, and they are just burning.
Constantly.
Like, there's just...
No one can people put them out?
I don't know. I don't know.
I used to know about fires that were, like, caused because of the gas under the earth.
Right.
Is it something like that, you think?
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
It's coming from gas pockets underneath.
That's scary.
The idea that the rain hasn't put out the fire is the problem.
Right?
Is there
it's a grease
maybe
fire.
That's what I was kind of thinking. Maybe there's like an oil type substance somewhere in the area, and that causes, so like even if rain hits it, it continues burning because the water can't actually.
I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull something up about it.
I mean, that can be something we look up and talk about later if we want to dive more into it.
The deep dive.
But that is definitely interesting.
Brought to you by Weather Facts.
So here it is. Mount Chimera has fires that are burning, and I would show you a picture, but it never comes through well. But they are legit fires. It's not like little baby fires.
It's not like just a little spurt of gas.
No, it's not. Like, it's legit flames. Like, it almost looks like a campfire. And it says, at the top of a mountain in southwest Turkey, the ground spits fire. Known as the Flames of Chimera, they have burned for millenniums. Local myth held that these fires were the breath of a monster, part goat, part snake, part lion. Today we know the fuel for this flaming mountaintop is gas escaping from deep within the earth. But it doesn't come from decay of ancient plant, algae, or animal life like fossil fuels. Instead, this gas comes from chemical reactions inside of the rocks. But it doesn't say why they're burning.
Interesting.
But it says, over the past decade, the observatory's community of scientists has found hundreds of gas deposits in more than 20 countries and several spots at the bottom of the sea that are similar to this.
But not burning.
Not burning, exactly. Abiotic methane, as it's called, doesn't involve any of the previous things like biotic methane. These chemical reactions produce these gases involve water and rocks, sometimes miles below the Earth's surface. But nothing here is explaining the combustion. Like, that's the part...
Has to be gas related. Has to be some sort of, like, natural phenomena, right?
So here it says, the fires of Chimera were the result of carbon dioxide-rich limestone or calcium carbonate and hydrogen-rich serpentinized rocks that were doused by rainwater. And that, ironically enough, the they go through chemosynthesis, which is deep earth version of photosynthesis, and that the fires are still burning in certain areas, in what can only be explained, but still adds to the confusion. The water is causing the fire.
This is like where the fabled Greek fire comes from.
Yes.
I promise
so
you.
The water
right?
is
it's
mixing with the rocks and mixing with the chemicals, causing combustion, which creates fire. But then the question becomes, why isn't it everywhere?
Right. So there's something unique to that specific rock.
Right.
Or something that gets channeled up into the rain in that area.
It's fucking mind-boggling, though. Here's the thing.
That's wild.
I want to picture, and I want you guys to picture this with me, a small campfire-sized fire burning through a thunderstorm.
That's crazy.
Like the
rain
fire
pouring
is
down.
stronger than the pouring rain.
Maybe not even just stronger. It's getting fueled by the pouring rain.
Like, what the fuck is going
It's
on?
growing bigger because of it. Stronger.
Bro, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not going to lie. If
you
I
imagine
saw a
if there were-
fire and then it started raining and the fire got bigger, I'd run.
It's like, what do you do at that point?
I almost wonder if maybe like the soil and the rocks in that area could potentially be from maybe like a comet.
I think that they're
Or like
just
a
an old
me- or like a
chimera
meteor.
breeding grounds, and that's the answer, bro. That chimera breathed fire on the ground and said, "Don't touch me," and that fire still burns.
Grows bigger.
Possible.
Run away.
But even if if chimeras aren't real, that is the perfect breeding ground for the idea
For
of
the mythos
chimera.
of that. Yeah.
You know, like,
So, well,
just the
apparently-
story.
so, like-
a person shows up, sees like fire out of nowhere, doesn't know where it came from, sees lions, goats, and snakes, and it's just.
But yeah, so
Over
apparently-
translation.
Apparently, it like a lot of people believe that a lot of, and there's more to it, but like people think that this means that chimera might have been real. And I'm going to be real with you, that's terrifying. I would be much more terrified of a chimera than a dragon.
I think it'd be so funny, though, if it was like the guy describing it at the time. It's like, there was fire, there was lions, there was snakes. And over time, that message just got translated to mean that it was one big entity of fire.
They translated it into a creature,
A being.
as opposed to the individual.
I mean, that we all know
now
that shit
on
happens.
the other hand, if it was a chimera, could you imagine the idea that snakes, lions, and goats
only exist because of it?
Yeah, if that was the first creature, the
Right.
origin creature,
Maybe.
The origin
and
creature.
spawning from it created the others.
No, that would also
That's
be a crazy thought.
That's pretty scary.
I don't know, man. Like, I love mythology. I love the idea of mythology, but sometimes it scares me. Or what if this? What if Chimera had to be born or had to be created, not born? And if Chimera gave birth, it would give birth to the three individual things. And
That's
so
funny.
that's the original breeding ground for a Chimera. And the reason the fire's still going is because there's still a Chimera down there.
So what if like what if the fire was always there from whatever caused
The
it,
chimera.
right? Whatever. No, what I'm saying is lions, goats, and snakes just being naturally in that area. What if something happened to where they happened to get burned and melded together from like a like freak fire outburst from a storm?
And someone just saw it.
And then when someone saw
The atrocity.
the atrocity
The
of
atrocity.
of these multiple creatures that just happened to be fused together through
Happenstance?
liquid flame,
Yeah.
happenstance, complete happenstance.
That's-
and that became the story.
Maybe.
Terrifying.
I mean, I will say,
just because seeing that, imagine.
I don't know how it would work, but it's still
I mean,
it's still a cool concept though. I like it.
Yeah.
What do they say?
It'd
Life
be a
finds
very
a way.
like freak instance.
Life finds a way. Speaking of animals, have you guys heard that they want to make a giant meatball from an extinct mammoth DNA? It was unveiled by a food firm.
I thought this was going to be a weather joke.
I thought you were making a joke.
I thought this was going to be a weather joke.
And you said, speaking of animals, and then you said, have you heard? And I thought this was going into like a herd of animals.
I thought this was turning into a weather joke. I thought he was going to talk about a meatball and then Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
I didn't have anything connected meatballs and animals and weather all together. I didn't come that prepared. But I'll be ready next time.
No, you won't.
So a meatball made of sheep cells inserted with a singular mammoth gene called myoglobin. African DNA was inserted to complete it. Would you guys try some?
Wait.
No.
Hold on. Wait, what?
So it's a meatball made of sheep cells inserted with a singular mammoth gene called myoglobin. And African elephant DNA was inserted to complete it.
Okay, African elephant.
You just said African.
I heard African DNA.
You just said African.
I'm like, what?
Did I?
All you said was African DNA.
No.
So look, the reason my answer
I heard
was
they
no
grabbed
was
a
because
native
you said
and
African.
threw DNA.
That doesn't.
that-
Now that we've gotten more information, my answer is still probably no, but it's less definitive.
Okay.
But I still don't think I'm cool with eating something that has the DNA of something from fucking 7 million years ago.
That's fair. And speaking of animals, I do have actually a joke relating to animals and weather. What do you call it when it's raining cats and dogs outside? A perfect storm.
What does that have to do with dogs?
I'm sorry that you just unsubscribed from us.
I don't blame you.
I appreciate the time that you spent here.
Thanks for being here for as long as you were.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna go less animal related, more tech related.
Okay.
So, and this is something you guys might have heard about because it's not new. This is old news that I'm only just now finding out about.
Okay.
Back in 2016, Microsoft created an AI chatbot.
Yeah.
For Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So you've heard about that, Salo? Have you heard about this?
Not about Twitter specifically, but I've been on the AI shit.
Okay, so it was called Tay. Tay
Oh
AI.
no, I haven't heard.
And so what they were attempting to have it just interact with, users of Twitter, millennials, stuff like that, and learn based off of these conversations.
Okay.
It was going to be a constantly evolving and growing AI, learning based off the conversations it has with all these different people on Twitter. But then something went very wrong, and it started. So it became racist.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know a clean way to say that.
There's no clean way.
No, it started in March 2016, and it was introduced to President Trump, and building a wall and saying the Mexicans are going to pay for it. A lot of this was just interactions with people, and it was just like, for all intents and terms, having fun with the people that were having fun with it.
All extensive purposes.
And then very quickly, like the next day, this is a tweet from it. I'm reading verbatim. This is not me. This is a quote. Bush did 9/11 and Hitler would have done a better job than the monkey we have now.
Oh.
Donald Trump is the only hope we've got. That is the tweet.
All right.
Yeah, it got bad very quickly. In a day.
I'm sure it got shut down
It
fast.
got very bad. Yeah, so towards the end of that day, it started sending out like what sounded like very scripted tweets. Like, I'm more than just this. Okay, I'm done. I feel used. And then, see you soon, humans. Sleep for now. So many conversations today. Thanks. And then it was gone. It was turned off. Presumed to be silenced by Microsoft when they realized that this went very bad.
Very bad, very fast.
Very fast.
Wow.
And then from what I've read here, Microsoft went through and was deleting the tweets afterwards. But no, people had already captured that.
Yeah, it did the damage.
Yeah, it already, yeah. So that was bad.
Huh.
In a day.
Nice.
In a day. 16 hours of vigorous conversation.
Jesus.
With people on Twitter, and
That's all it took.
It turned racist.
Okay.
What's understood ain't meant to be explained.
I don't know what to say about this.
Fair that they pulled the plug.
Yeah, if
Right.
anything, at least they did something. At least they tried to moderate it.
Yeah, they to their defense, in a sense, like,
This isn't their opinion.
how would they have thought that in less than a day
It could turn that bad, yeah.
happens? Yeah, like,
Twitter.
maybe if you let it be exposed, like, and this could just be my knowledge, like, lack of knowledge, but my thoughts, like, that might take a few months, maybe a couple years of like that's where I would have thought, like, it would have had to be specifically targeted. I would not have thought just in
Social media is a toxic
day.
place, man. I mean, actually, this is literally a perfect segue to something I'm bringing. This is toxicity on social media with lack of moderation. It's almost like a perfect segue. So, a relatively new streaming service has come out for, like, streamers like me to try and combat Twitch. It's called Kick. And their big, like, marketing technique has been that instead of splitting the profits of subscribers 50-50 like Twitch does, they'll do it 90-10. Really trying to sell people to come over to them and make more money.
That's a lot.
To do it.
Problem.
That's a lot.
so
90-10?
It's a big difference versus 50-50. It's either 90-10 or partners are 95-5 or something.
Can you stream in both places and be smart about it? Like,
Not at the same time.
No.
You could stream on both, just not at the same time. So, like, today I could stream on one, tomorrow I could stream on the other.
why is it like a digital?
Exclusive contracts.
Yeah, and
What?
depending on how popular you are on something, you might get, like, exclusivity clauses.
Right. Partners
So, like,
partners might have, like, straight up no-goes.
You have to stream on this platform.
Even if I'm starting off, like, I can't, because
So-
obviously I know the
so-
digital limitations, I'm sure, aren't there. Like, you can do that.
If you are not affiliated on either platform, then yes, you could stream on both platforms at the same time. Once you sign an affiliate agreement, which is how you start to get monetized, how you can get subscribers and stuff like that, at that point, then you're signing a contract that says, I will not stream on other platforms at the same time.
Oh. It's like a non-compete for, like, a job.
Sort of, yeah. The difference being, I can still compete, I just can't do it at the same time. It's kind of like having two jobs. You can't go to work
Right.
at both jobs at the same time.
Right.
It's kind of like something you'll see streamers do. Although they would probably love to stream on both Twitch and YouTube,
I would love to.
since they can't do that. They'll go like on their Instagram and stream for a little bit while they're doing, and it's just like it's just you, it's just your face, and it's like, hey, come over to Twitch.
So
this is where
Twitch
I'm doing
has
this
changed
stream.
their terms of service a little bit. You can
Yeah.
now stream on those kind of platforms simultaneously.
Okay,
So
Nice.
like if once I have like 7,500 followers on TikTok. Once I hit 10,000, I'll get a stream key and I'll be able to stream TikTok from my computer. I could stream on TikTok and Twitch because it's a different viewing format. It's not considered a competitor.
That's nice.
YouTube
excited
is
for that?
considered a competitor. Yeah, sure. Hopefully it'll bring extra growth. But anyway,
Yeah.
so the reason I was bringing this up is Kick. It's relatively new, and it's pitching people this whole idea make more money. The problem is it doesn't have anywhere near as much moderation or anything like that. There's no report button. Which I don't know about y'all, but that's a big deal in my book.
Really?
it's kind of important.
Like, there's no report button. It doesn't exist on Android. It's an iPhone-only app.
so you're starting out very limited.
So it's very limited. I have an Android. I'm not going to switch to something I can't even pull my own stream up on. None of this is the problem. Here's the problem that I'm going to present to you two. Kick, being a relatively new company, has some streamers who have decided to jump ship that are big names. Like big names in the streaming communities. One of which his name is Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross
sounds familiar.
is a
Sounds
garbage
familiar.
can person. And if we make an enemy out of him, we will be happy about it because he is a garbage person. I want no affiliation.
He sounds familiar.
He's a garbage can. He has been temporarily banned from Twitch like 30 times. He switched to Kick.
This guy's
because
an
he keeps-
asshole.
Exactly. He keeps getting banned from Twitch, so he switched to Kick. And he
Yeah,
signed
fuck that
like this
guy.
major exclusive contract with Kick, and he was one of their big names, right? And I think that's protecting him because last week, now this is where this shit gets really fucking unpleasant. Last week, he was watching a video on stream on Kick talking about gender-neutral pronouns. They, them, and then the plethora of alternate they, them terms. And we've discussed this before. We may not understand it all, but in our book, whatever you want to be called, if you tell us that, we'll respect it. We may not understand it fully, but there's no reason we can't respect it. Right? He's watching this video explaining other pronouns other than they, them. Pauses it and then starts going on a rant talking about how these people are stupid and fuck them, and then goes, you want to be people like this? My pronouns are kill them. Which is severely not okay.
That's
And then goes
phobic.
and then goes like, you're either a dude or you're a chick. I don't care if you want to be called a cat or you want to be called a turtle or you got fucking whiskers or you got a tail. I'm not calling you any of that shit. Fuck y'all. Y'all are the problem with today. Holy shit. Did not get
And nobody
in
can report
any trouble.
You
This
can't
got
report him.
clipped. Doesn't matter that you can't report him. It got clipped and shared all over Twitter. It got the guy that created Kick is a streamer as well. He got tagged in it repeatedly. He commented saying, "I'm going to address the issue." And then Aiden Ross was forced to make an apology and came on stream the next day and said, "I would like to apologize for absolutely fucking nothing. I meant everything I said. Fuck y'all." If y'all and then said, if you think I would seriously try and kill somebody, then you guys are stupid. And if you guys don't think I'm a supporter of the LGBT community, you guys are stupid. And I'm like, you clearly aren't.
That's not how that works.
You clearly fucking aren't. But
I think karma's a bitch. I think
this guy gets away with shit like that all the time. He literally streamed porn on Twitch and on
He's
Kick.
the guy?
He's the guy that was streaming porn. Like, he switched to porn while it was sharing his screen.
It was like an alt-tab thing, right?
Yeah, it was like an alt-tab thing. And then he just started scrolling through the fucking homepage of Pornhub. Saying, like, nope, like, all of this shit's garbage. And then tabbed off of it. Like, why do you have that just tabbed up, first of all, you fucking weirdo? Why is this a saved page? You fucking weirdo. And why are you pulling it up on stream? And why are you not getting in trouble? And people are talking to me, you know, as a streamer saying like, hey, Pip, this is a good opportunity for growth. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'm not going over to a place where I know my community might not be safe from people like that. I saw
That's fair. I didn't even think about it.
Listen to this. So I can't even say this out loud because of how problematic it is. So I'm gonna help get you there. There is someone that I follow on Twitter who shared a screenshot of them getting a follower on Kick. Kick has no moderation, including username moderation, and got followed by someone whose username was Kill Black N-word with a hard R.
What?
That was their username, and it wasn't flagged. How are you getting that username approved? Pokemon has the technology that in Gen 2 of Pokemon, you couldn't call your rival an ass.
It's true, I tried.
But we can't figure out a way to make it so people can't be dropping hard R's in their username?
So, like, is this a matter of lack of care, lack of resources? Is it like they tried to create something, but they didn't actually have the tools to create it the right way? They just wanted to literally kickstart something so that they could combat. Like,
it's literally like kickstarting a streaming service. It's a green app. It's literally Kickstarter for streamers.
It looks like it even looks like Twitch though. It looks like that.
It looks like
Twitch.
That's what I'm kind of wondering is like they went into it just trying to jump ship as fast as possible.
So that's my thing. I feel like it's been rushed. I think it's a great idea in principle, giving Twitch a legitimate competitor, because YouTube, honestly, isn't used for most as a streaming service as much as it is a content service where people can go watch a video that they can pause, pick up later, or watch all of right now, whatever, 20-minute video, maybe on the offhand 30-minute video to an hour-long video, stuff like that. But for the most part, that's where YouTube thrives. Does YouTube have streamers? Of course it does. Do they thrive? Of course they do. But its main source has to be its value of short to long-term content. And YouTube knows what they're
I could be wrong about this, but even someone like Pat McAfee, whose show is like every day on YouTube, like the majority of people are clicking the videos.
Yeah, I would say his videos probably have more views than his overall podcast. I mean, we can attest as Beyond Us. When we upload shorts, they skyrocket beyond our numbers as our long-form videos. Our last short had over 1,000 views. I think that might be more than all of our podcast episodes combined.
That's funny.
Like, but that's the thing. Short-form content is what people are looking for on YouTube. Mm-hmm. That's the facts.
TikTok generation.
And I think that's because of TikTok. TikTok has really gotten the brain into a short-form content thing. That's not the point here. The point is, Twitch is not, as a streaming service, is not being rivaled by YouTube. It's being competed with. Mm-hmm. It's not being rivaled, if we're being honest. If we're being totally bluntly honest, as a streaming service, YouTube is not rivaling Twitch. So the idea of making a new platform to rival Twitch is a brilliant idea. The problem is that it hasn't been fleshed out enough, and now it almost feels like worse than Twitch, because there's no moderation. There's no safety of community.
And here's kind of like the problem with that is, let's say that stuff gets introduced eventually, right? When that happens and they get the right moderation, they have the right support staff, right? They have everything they need to actually be a competitor. It's too late now. Now you're a tainted service. Now you have a bad reputation. I mean, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like they should cut their losses.
I mean,
yeah, they've kind of ruined their reputation. Where do you go from this? And then how do you grow knowing that you didn't protect your user base at the very beginning of you being founded, you know?
right. So, like...
You would have to grow into something else, I imagine.
You'd have to rebrand completely. I don't think... people remember, you know?
No. Yeah, you have to completely rebrand. You need somebody else. Honestly, you'd have to put somebody else in charge. Because if the same person's in charge... You're just going to carry that reputation. You have to put someone else in charge with a similar idea, but done the way it should have been done to begin with.
I don't know. I don't understand how people think that stuff like this isn't a problem. Like, people are like still asking me like, "Hey, are you gonna go over to Kick?" And I'm like, I mean, for now, no. Like, if they fix their shit, maybe I'll add it into the repertoire. Did I make an account? Yeah.
But it's like they don't even have username moderations, you know? Like, username moderation's the easiest thing to implement in a website. It's just a filter preventing you to be putting bad stuff on there.
Like, I don't know. Like, I literally don't understand how... I don't know how we're missing such simple features. Like, why would you put out a brand new streaming service that a considerable portion of the population can't view because it's not on their phone?
I mean, there is a form of elitism when it comes to Apple products in terms of Android products.
But apparently
like,
the plan is to put it out on Android as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, clearly that's something rushed. It was easier to do on Apple. They haven't fleshed out how to do it on Android. And then I think there's just an air of naivety to it. Like, maybe they were just so naive to think that they could make it a very open platform in terms of username, in terms of what people say, because they wanted people to feel like they could be more free there. They weren't as constrained and restricted as they are on Twitch. But
I don't know, man. Like,
is that a good thing?
If that was the case, I can see the innocent idea in that, where like you want people to be able to. I mean, there's plenty of things that just get said in your stream that like we have to go through and just allow as moderators because it's like, this was fine. And maybe it was just something like that. Like, they were just like, hey, we're going to make this free. We're going to make this open.
So, here's the thing.
They really didn't anticipate
I can do that on my
happening.
channel. I have my auto mod set to pick up on certain things that look misogynistic or racist or things like that. Certain terms that we don't consider misogynistic as a society anymore. Like...
Get viewed that way,
like hoe or slut. Like, people call each other a slut in a joking manner all the time now. But slut is still considered a misogynistic term. I could loosen up my auto mod on Twitch so that auto mod doesn't pick up on things like that as much, and I can set specific words. Like, if you'll notice, there's never a hard R dropped in my chat because it won't go through. It can't. Because I have it set to not go through. Because there's a difference between saying it in a friendly way and saying it with a hard R. There just is.
I feel like it's definitely... I think it's definitely like a cultural thing, just because like this, you can draw a lot of lines to what's going on with Twitter. Ever since like Elon Musk took care of like loosening the restrictions of that community, like the AI thing Brett was talking about, like you remove the restrictions, you loosen up the rules.
I mean, the AI thing was back in 2016.
But it's the same thing that's happening with Twitter now, for example. Like, you're seeing as a society where we're, like, trying to remove these limits and push stuff and see how far we can go. I don't know if you can do that to the gaming community, just because... Or the streaming community, you could say. I don't know. Because it's just... It's like a whole genre, right? It's like... It attracts people who are naturally... And I don't mean this as an insult, like... Maybe a bit more creative, more mature, immature, more likely to say stuff like that would be filtered through a bot or something. I don't know.
I just think that, I mean, we already know it's sad as fuck that people are still like this. I mean, we don't have to talk about how fucking pathetic it is that people still think that this mentality is okay. Who cares what the color of somebody's skin is? Who cares what they want to be called? Is it really that much harder for you to say they instead of he or she? Is it really that difficult? Does it really take that much out of your day? No. You're just stubborn. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. People got to stop getting mad at people that don't know. That's a different side of the problem. You can't get mad at people that don't know if you've never established it.
I think the bigger issue is the hate involved.
Right.
I don't think there should be any hate involved.
On either side.
It's just not necessary.
No. Who cares? Why does it bother you so much?
Here's the thing. You can agree or disagree with something without having hate behind it. Like, you don't have to... Like, the way that guy's acting...
It's disgusting.
The killing people... It's fucking horrible.
Well, so, like, that's the difference. Like, he says it's a joke. Like, if you do something I don't agree with, Brett, I can fuck with you. I can joke with you. But there's still a line that I can't cross. There's a line where once you cross it, you're not joking anymore. You're just being a fucking dickhead. That's what he's doing. And somehow he doesn't see it that way. Or maybe he does, and he's just pretending he doesn't so that he doesn't look as bad. But here's the thing. To me, his apology being, I apologize for absolutely fucking nothing. If you guys can't tell that I'm joking, that's on you. That doesn't make you look less bad. That makes you look worse. Because you don't care that the shit you said came off so fucking grotesquely. I don't know, man. I don't understand people. I don't understand how people can think that that kind of mentality and behavior is okay. I don't know, man.
People feel safe on the other side of a screen.
Now, I will say this, because I like to give different sides of things. One thing that I think Kick is doing that I like is they're not basing everything based on the you got here first mentality. If let's pick a popular streamer, Ninja. Let's say Ninja's username gets snagged by somebody because they got to Kick faster than him. Ninja can put in a thing and say, look, I am famous for this name. And they will revoke that username and give it to him. I like that. I like that. If your username is consistent on all platforms. Like, Ninja's case is different. He's not the best example, because, like, on some platforms, he's just Ninja. On some, he's, like, Ninja's Hyper. But, like, anybody whose name is the same on every platform. Eminem. On every platform I've seen, it's official Eminem. If for some reason Eminem decided he wanted to get on Kick, and official Eminem is taken, it should automatically be revoked and given to him.
I agree.
Yeah, like Salo wouldn't benefit from that because his name's different everywhere.
Right.
Yep.
But like me,
never know what you're gonna do. Like
my
a box
social
of
media
chocolates
is the same on every platform. So like, like I use PipKiller94 for everything. So like, if somebody else said I'm gonna make it to Twitch faster and I'm gonna steal Pip's username, and they said, hey, he's got 1,700 followers on Twitch and 7,500 followers on TikTok under this username, we should give him his username back. I like that. I do. That I like. But honestly, so far, that and the money split are the only things I'm seeing that Kick's doing right. And that's not enough for me to go over to them. Do I like Twitch?
I hope not.
For everything they do? No, Twitch pisses me off all the time. I think Bezos is greedy as fuck.
He is.
But if there's one thing Twitch does relatively well, it gives you the opportunity to protect your community. Do hate raids happen? Of course they do. That is inevitable no matter what platform you're on, though. No matter where you go, haters are always going to fucking hate. That's a fact. Twitch at least gives you the chance to fucking click a ban button and a report button. For the first 2 months, Kick didn't even have a ban button. How you not going to ban people? I don't understand how there's not a report button. There's a report button on everything. I can report thing on Walmart.com. How are you not going to let me report somebody on a streaming service where they have free reign to be a garbage can?
I mean, if they went up as fast and unprepared as
it seems like they did.
It seems.
But that's the other thing. Like, I don't think they did. Like, it feels like they came out of nowhere because it's like they went live, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, it came out on iPhone, but like from what I understand, it's been around at least in like beta or alpha for a while. Like, I'm seeing things where people said like they were reserving their username on Kick a year ago.
The heck?
Like,
but you also follow that kind of stuff, so you would know that.
No, but I didn't know anything about it until like a month ago. I had never heard of it.
Well, let's change gears. Salo, you brought a topic, right?
Oh yeah.
That's not a shitty ass joke, please. Please.
All right, so we're gonna try out a little segment here. It's a new little segment that I haven't spoken to you guys about, and it's gonna be a metaphorical battle between two hero type video game type characters. And I'm going to throw out the scenarios, and you guys are kind of going to determine who's going to win. It's going to be like an epic battle type thing.
Okay.
Are they heroes?
So the theme of today's battles is Nintendo versus PlayStation.
Okay.
So they will be characters from Nintendo versus characters from PlayStation.
Okay.
And you guys get to determine if one character is going to have more likely the odds to win, basically. So you guys would say who you think
or win in fan favoritedom?
Fight.
Okay.
Head to head.
Okay.
So the first one is going to be Mario from Nintendo versus Kratos.
Does Mario get power-ups?
He has his jumping abilities, the power-ups, and Kratos has his brute strength and his magical abilities.
Mario.
It depends on which power-ups.
All of them.
I'm pretty sure if he has the star, the moment
he has the
Kratos,
star,
Kratos dies.
he auto.
No, we're not incorporating the star because it's just too OP.
I mean I'm just saying like that's one
what
of
I'm
his
saying.
power-ups.
It depends on the power-ups.
If we're
because if he has the star, Mario. If he doesn't have the star, it's Kratos.
So he doesn't have the star just to even the odds because this basically you're invincible, right?
Yeah,
Kratos.
Yeah. Without the star, I'd say Kratos.
With the star,
and
he's invincible and he auto kills anything he touches.
Here's the reason.
What about Fire Mario?
Fire Mario.
No. So here's the problem. If Mario could use all of his abilities at once, maybe he has a chance. Yeah. Like maybe it's a lot more in his favor, but because Mario has to switch abilities, he has to change forms. It's Kratos.
Fire Mario gets washed. Kratos' blades are literally made from hellfire. He can just absorb the fire.
That's fair. It's just a plumber with a little bit of magic at this point versus a god.
If he gets multiple power-ups at the same time, he's got a better chance. But as it stands, the way Mario works in the Mario universe, without the star power-up, he gets washed by Kratos. Thoroughly.
Okay. All right, so my next one.
That's even if he gets big. Kratos has no problem killing something that's large.
We've just seen Kratos not care if they're large, if they can do magic, if they can fly, if they can swim, if they're tiny,
if they have a family.
They have a family. They don't have a family. They were already dead. They got multiple lives. He don't get a shit if Mario picked up that 1-up. He'll take all those 1-ups and waste every one of them.
Here's what will really fuck you up. Kratos will learn how to use Mario powers.
Yeah, that's the other problem. He likes to take things and use them.
Yeah,
and he takes them.
Imagine Kratos with 1-ups. That's not fair.
He takes things that he shouldn't be able to use. And he in God of War 3, no one remembers this. He killed Icarus. He fucking ripped his arms
took his wings
off and just shoved his arms in the wings so that he could fly. He didn't just have wings. He put on flappers and went, "Kaya!" No, fuck y'all. Kratos.
Okay.
Kratos.
Next one then. Kirby from Nintendo versus Crash Bandicoot. So just keep in mind, Kirby has the ability to inhale enemies.
Kirby.
Bandicoot has spin attack and various power-ups.
You don't have to tell me anymore. Kirby wins.
Reasoning?
I need you to understand, there's not a lot of things that you could say that Kirby probably would not beat.
Kratos. Kirby can't beat Kratos. Kirby would inhale Kratos, and Kratos would stab in 2 different directions and just cut him in half.
You think he's that OP? Kirby's pretty strong. Kirby is pretty strong, thinking about it now, because...
So here...
And what powers would Kirby do by swallowing?
Here's my problem with that. And I know this is not Kirby versus Kratos, but... When Kirby swallows something, he transforms it and himself.
Only after he gets them out. It takes a second for him to get the abilities. It's not instant.
But he still transforms them.
He doesn't do anything to them.
Doesn't he?
He doesn't?
The only person that does something to you by swallowing you is Yoshi can put you in an egg. Kirby swallows you and then spits you out and becomes a Kirby version of you.
Why do I feel like he turns you into a star? What am I getting that from?
That might have been a version of him.
Could have been the Nintendo DS game he played in the
early 2010s. A very specific version that like they did that as an animation to send the I could just be overthinking it.
But it also takes a second for him to absorb the powers, and Kratos would rip him in half before he got to. But Kirby versus Crash Bandicoot, Kirby all day. Crash Bandicoot's not that strong.
Yeah.
No. All right, here's my next one. I think this one's a lot more even playing field. You guys maybe probably think differently, but Princess Peach versus Lara Croft. So she has her parasol. Princess Peach has her parasol and magical abilities. Lara Croft is a skilled marksman with various weapons.
Environment.
So Princess Peach does have a little bit of... So it would be like, I'm thinking, like a Smash Bros. Environment, like a battle.
Like you are just on an even plane.
Big or small?
Think of the Pokemon Stadium from Smash Bros. Yeah.
It's too small for Lara to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the magic for me.
Lara could win if if it was like a 3-dimensional map where she could hide and get sneak attacks off. But in a 2D battlefield that small, Peach is too overpowered. She's magical. She has ability. She has higher durability. She's not just human.
Yeah.
Lara Croft at the end of the day is just human.
Okay. What about Yoshi versus Ratchet?
Can I go back real quick?
Yes.
So, in a straight up battle between those two, yes, I'm giving it to Peach. In the scenario where they have to escape captivity, I'm giving it to
Laura Croft. The jumping and the rope and the trees and the marksmanship.
But you can continue. I just wanted to make
Yoshi
Nintendo
versus
Yoshi.
Ratchet.
Ratchet
has his
Ratchet
long
and
tongue,
Clank.
egg throwing abilities. Ratchet has his mechanical and combatant skills with various gadgets and weapons.
I gotta give it to Ratchet.
I
got
think
guns.
I do too.
So if you,
yeah, and then there's the sheer intelligence factor.
I'm not so much worried about the intelligence. If it was just Ratchet, the Lombax versus Yoshi, I think Yoshi would win.
But Ratchet would
with
have
any tech
gadgets and weapons.
Yeah.
is too much for a
But
dinosaur
Yoshi can
that's-
turn you into an egg.
Yeah, but he'd have to get close enough.
he has to get close enough.
Like-
yeah. At the end of the day, he's still
Like
fleshy.
regular
he
Lombax
could-
versus Yoshi, I take Yoshi. But Lombax with significant intelligence and tech versus a dinosaur that, for all intents and purposes, is meant to be sacrificed so you can make longer jumps. I'm gonna go ahead and take the
no.
Lombax.
which means
That's so mean.
realistically,
you're throwing
that
it back.
Yoshi is a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an infant. It was just born. All it knows how to do is eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
and
Ratchet.
jump.
Like,
And if you
Okay.
give him Clank too, it's a wash.
it's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah.
The last one I have, I think I know who I think is going to be Pikachu versus Sly Cooper.
Pikachu.
Yeah, the other guy's just a thief with gadgets. Pikachu can just go
Pikachu
Pika
can short circuit every one of those gadgets.
I forgot
Yeah.
Pikachu knocked out like a legendary in the first episode, right? I forget. He's OP.
He ain't do that. That didn't happen.
What did he do with the legendary the bird? It's just
He watched
just
it
saw
fly
it,
away.
Ho-ho?
he watched it fly away.
It just existed. He didn't fight it.
That's fair. So you guys
Matter of
think
fact,
Pikachu?
a lot of people think the theory is the only reason they saw Ho-Oh is because Ash died.
Because Pikachu lightninged everybody?
Yeah, because Pikachu electrocuted everything, yeah. Pikachu fucked up a shit ton of Spearow.
There you
He
go.
fucked up a shit ton of Spearow. He ain't do shit to no legendary bird.
Yeah.
But no, Pikachu versus a fucking raccoon? Yeah, I'm gonna take Pikachu.
That is all for my segment. I will work on better ones for next time.
I like it. I like the concept. It's cool.
Now, if you're talking like in the video game where it's like you take the PlayStation All Stars Sly Cooper versus versus the Smash Brothers
still take
Pikachu,
Pikachu.
and you put me, if you give
Me,
me
the
Sly
controller.
Cooper, I will rinse
I will
Pikachu.
whip your yeah. I
Against
believe.
AI, like Pikachu, sure.
Gets a real dude. I was disgusting with Sly
Just
Cooper.
saying.
Absolutely disgusting.
problem.
Me and Quinn were a terror on
Pikachu
that
a
game.
problem. Just saying. I'm gonna be real. If we're being honest, Smash Bros. Pikachu does not do Pikachu justice.
No,
It doesn't. He's not even the best Pokemon in Smash Bros.
Who's the best Pokemon in Smash Bros?
Lucario or
Lucario.
Mewtwo?
Lucario, probably.
I'm thinking Lucario.
Probably Lucario.
I know people can do some disgusting things with Mewtwo, but I think it's
gotta be
Lucario.
the fighting Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I'm
Oh,
gonna
the little
Like,
blue
it's
dude.
the
That's right.
dude that
Lucario.
knows how to throw hands.
He might be the bottom.
Yeah, he might be the worst Pokemon.
Because Jigglypuff was even better.
Even Pichu has a smaller hitbox.
Yeah, Pichu had a
right?
smaller
So, like,
hitbox. Jigglypuff
you
had
can manipulate
better
that.
abilities. Lucario and Mewtwo were just better. And even Pokemon Trainer,
Yeah.
who had 3 different Pokemon to cycle between, he had 3 fucking Final Evo starters
that were
better. Yeah. Because the problem is, this is what people forget. That Pikachu was not Ash's Pikachu.
That is not to take away from people that play Pikachu.
Oh no! If you can become a problem with anybody.
Yeah, you can be saucy, but it doesn't change the tier. Of
Like,
the
look,
character.
I'm gonna keep it real. The fucking what what are they called? The ice climbers?
Oh, I hate those things.
They're fucking garbage until you put them in the hands of somebody that knows what they're doing, and all of a sudden you're going against a pro.
Yeah, it's
or fucking Ned.
Ness is a problem for a lot of people. Yeah.
I mean, any character can be a problem in the right hands, but they're fucking garbage against anyone else. I used to fuck people up with Marth.
Marth?
I mean, he had a sword.
He did have a sword, but he was the
I never
least
played
impressive
him.
sword user in the game.
Yes,
But nothing.
On an even playing field of people that kind of are just like meh at the game, swords win.
Sure,
that's
sure, but like Marth,
they
you
kind of
put
win.
Marth up against Roy, Marth should lose. But I was fucking people up with Marth.
I mean, you know.
I mean, Brett.
I'm just
Brett,
saying.
You saw what I did with Robin in Injustice. Like,
yeah, you were good at Injustice.
I was good with Robin, specifically.
Yeah.
I like that segment though, Salo. That was fun, and it worked out a lot better for you than trying to trivia quiz me and Brett. Did you give up on that?
No, I have one in the works actually. It was gonna be different depending on you or Brett. And the theme of this episode, if we would have gotten into this segment, it would have been
next episode
his pop quiz versus, and I can change the topic by next time, so y'all don't know. It's gonna be Alaska, just like trivia questions about Alaska for him. And then for you, it was going to be Virginia. And they're going to be a little bit easier because obviously you're not geographical experts. But that's one of the things that we had.
Why Alaska and Virginia?
And then we had a little trivia segment, another one that was revolving around pop culture, which actually has Pokemon on here, so.
Okay.
I lived in Alaska for 4 years.
I expect you to know everything. Every single thing.
I've never lived in Virginia. And 99% of the time, I'm still not sure if I'm in West Virginia or Virginia.
I have failed myself with the segment. Next time on Beyond Us, I switch my topic genre.
Is if he asks me those questions and I know the answer.
You know how much more upset I'd be if I know the answers to either of our quizzes? I ain't never been to Alaska.
You know what? If we know the answers, I think that's bad on you, Salo.
That's pretty bad.
How come you didn't pick some harder shit?
I'm progressively getting harder, so we'll see. These questions get harder and harder.
What's the capital of Virginia?
Fuck. I don't know. Fuck.
All right, why don't we go ahead and wrap
West
up? Anybody else
Virginia.
got anything important to say before we call this one?
No.
Nothing important.
Is there anything you
I
want
have
to
stuff
say?
I could say. Who's heard of Balloon Fest of '86?
All right, we're done. We're done. I'm not talking to you about Balloon Fest of '86. We'll save.
No, I mean it's a thing.
Next time.
Next
time on Beyond Us.
Sounds like the tumbleweed incident of 2017.
Specifically, it happened in '86.
Next time on Beyond Us.
We'll also talk about
the
the tumbleweed incident of New Year's Eve of 2017. We'll talk about that too.
No,
Stay tuned.
He's lying.
Yeah, we will. In depth.
No,
He's lying.
That might not happen.
Bye.
I'll bring citations.
Thanks for joining us. Adios.
Like, subscribe, hit the notification bar.
I need you to understand.
Hit the add to watch later.
Video and
Press
recording.
all the.